Today we're going to talk about jobs and people who are getting laid off. And obviously this is not a channel for negativity, but I just had to talk about it because I saw a lot of jobs with the people who are getting laid off are people who had like uppity type degrees. But most of them are like jobs like UPS and all those other type jobs. But anyway, let's watch some videos though.
If y'all didn't know and didn't see, UPS and Amazon is finna lay off over 20,000 people. 20,000 people. So that means everybody is literally finna be applying. Everybody is finna be literally applying for the same job. So that means if you apply for something, it's about a few more people that's applying for another job. When I tell y'all the ones that voted that orange man in office, okay? Not me. Y'all did that. And now y'all see the outcome of it. It's so terrible right now because we're finna hit a super big recession. Like, I'm telling you, $15 for people, if it's not more than $25 an hour, if you don't have a degree, none of those things, it's really not gonna matter. You're gonna have to get in where you fit, and that means getting any job that they have. And it got so bad, but y'all should have thought about this before y'all voted.
See what she's saying in the video, but oftentimes we're so quick to blame a president or blame the government, but I try not to do that because I'm never in a position where I've had to make rules, laws, and regulation for like a whole country. And if I put myself into that position, I would probably fail. But not saying that that's an excuse, you feel me? Because we still want a good leader who could lead our country to greatness like he promised us to. But the thing is, it's not looking too great, and I try to be positive, but I just gotta talk about things that are happening, right? So the jobs that are getting laid off, like UPS and all these type of jobs, right? I used to hear that they could make like 6 figures, and obviously it's not like easy work because you're still out in the sun, especially in Texas where I live, right? It's pretty hot, you're delivering all day, it must be a hard job, but you could make a decent living off of it. But now if they're getting laid off and now they have to resort to minimum wage jobs, not only is it going to be competitive because other people are getting laid off, but $15 an hour or whatever the minimum wage is that they're paying is not gonna cut it, especially if you're trying to provide for a family. Imagine trying to provide for a family off of $15 an hour. That would be crazy. And the thing is, some people make it work somehow. There's single moms out there, there's a lot of people in different situations, and kudos to y'all because I want the best for y'all. But yeah, it's crazy, man. But anyway, let's go to the next video.
Go to college, land a good job, climb the corporate ladder, and you'll achieve the American dream, they said. But in 2025, that's not the reality. But Google laid off hundreds of people this week. Some of them had PhDs, some had MBAs, and some have worked for the company for years. As someone who's been laid off before, I still made my tech salary, paid off my student loans, and bounced back with a new job months later. My career theory is that the Bible is the cheat code. Ecclesiastes 11:2 says, divide your portions into 7 or even 8, for you do not know what misfortune may occur on this earth. Essentially, the scripture is saying you need multiple streams of income. So even when there's an economic shift, job market is trash, or there's a new administration, the cheat code is in the Bible. Period.
I love what she did with that, like incorporating the Bible with it, because it really does help. But a thing she said that was very good is that you have to save for times that you don't know are ahead, because a lot of times people, they get a good salary, they get a good wage, but then they don't have an emergency fund. So let's say you get laid off, you have really nothing to live off of for like next 3 months until you figure something out. And that's very terrible. Let's say even if you have an apartment, what are you gonna do if you get laid off? Like, that would be bad. No emergency fund? It's terrible, bro. So always save up in advance and also have multiple streams of income. I tell y'all this a lot, man. I want y'all to tell me how many times I've said this in a vid. Like, do something else besides your job, because you never know what that side thing might carry you. It might carry you to even a better place than your job. But even that, like, if you get laid out, at least you have something to depend on now, you feel me? Because if you're only depending on one job, it's not sufficient enough, because some of these jobs are ruthless. Like, they'll tell you to put a 2-week notice in, but for them, they'll just fire you on the spot. And this is not for all jobs, because some companies are actually kind and they actually care about their employees. But let's be for real, in this world, that's not the case for everybody, you feel me? So always save for the future, because God forbid something might happen and you never know. So yeah, let's watch the next video.
So it's getting crazy out there, guys. Companies are laying off a bunch of people. Layoffs are piling up right now. We saw Intel recently said they're laying off 21,000 people. We know a lot of the big tech companies have been laying off people, and people in different industries are getting laid off right now. And the tariff situation, the trade war between the US and China, is only increasing uncertainty and casting doubts on the guidance of where businesses are going, right? So if businesses can't really forecast as well as they were able to a couple of months ago what their revenue is going to be, what their profits are going to be, you know, if they're seeing, oh crap, we're going to take a hit in profit, oh, we're going to take a hit in this or that, they're going to start laying off more people. People are already getting laid off because of the uncertainty for the future with tariffs, with these businesses. What's going to happen? Will it take a hit to my profits, right? People are already getting laid off. Will it get worse? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
The main thing I've heard all across the board is the layoffs are caused by tariffs. And while I don't know the full extent of what is happening, I've heard a lot of things here and there. And the thing that is a problem is the tariffs are cutting off on margins, like profit margins. So let's say you have a business, right? And you're profiting and it's cut by 50%. That's going to affect the company. That's not only going to affect the people who work there, but also the higher ups, because who doesn't want more money coming into their pockets? Which is a crazy thing, because it's not only affecting people who work jobs, but also people who own businesses such as clothing brands and such. Because as a clothing brand, I don't have a clothing brand, but like if you have a clothing brand, you outsource. You want to get products from somewhere cheaper, that way you can mark them up for higher and get a profit. But when you're putting tariffs on it, that's going to affect your business a lot, and it's affecting a lot of people, which is crazy. And a lot of people are blaming Trump, and maybe he played a part in it. I don't know, because I'm not just gonna say things, you feel me? But he might have played a part in it, but we can't just blame him, because there's a lot of things that go on to making a country run smoothly. But yeah, anyway, let's watch the next video though.
Major news today that American companies are already laying off workers because of Donald Trump's disastrous tariffs. Here are the two companies that have laid off workers in the hours after Trump's announcement. First, Stellantis, who makes Ram trucks and Jeeps, said on Thursday it was temporarily laying off 900 workers at 5 U.S. facilities. Now, what does temporarily mean? We don't know, but it seems they might be permanent if these tariffs stay in place, which Trump is telling us they will. Also, Whirlpool in Iowa announced their largest layoff of 2025 in their Amana manufacturing facility. This is what happens when you implement tariffs as haphazardly as the Trump administration has done. The costs of goods that companies use in their products, even if they're made in America, go up. That is the reality of tariffs, and the reality of this situation is that your goods, my goods, will go up because of one guy, his name, President Donald J. Trump.
Oh, I said this already, but the whole point of the U.S. tariffs was to make sure that the U.S. has a better economy. How, you ask me? By making companies come here and manufacture so that we could at least benefit from it. And it sounded like a good idea, but in turn it's really not, because companies that manufacture here are being affected because the goods that they might get from the US are still expensive, even though they're not getting it from out the US. And a lot of people want to blame Donald Trump, but I don't want to blame, because I don't know the full extent of what's happening, and I don't want to blame just the government. It might be their fault, who knows. But anyway, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all liked it, and if you enjoyed it, show me some love, because I'm trying to make better videos for y'all. But anyways, y'all have a good day. It's VK. Bye-bye.
Is the reason why I'm selfish, I ain't doing it for myself. My partner's got it, you push my little brothers need some help.